Is Marathon a bad game? The answer to that is a simple no. It is not a bad game. It is actually a very good game. But the more important question is Marathon going to fail? If you've been online, if you've been following this game, if you're reading comment sections, if you're looking at what popular streamers or content creators are saying, you might think that this game is going to be dead on arrival, but I was fortunate enough to be able to play the alpha, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to, really sink my teeth into it, have 20 plus hours over the week it's been out, and I have some thoughts, I have some impressions, I have some pros, and I definitely have some cons, but today I want to talk about Marathon and hopefully convey how I feel about the game, and so you guys can have a little bit more clarification on what to expect when this game comes out in September. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the way I want to structure this video is I want to start with the things I liked about Marathon, the pros to Marathon. Then we'll go into the cons, and rather than just tell you things I didn't like, I want to offer solutions to how I think they could better improve the game. And then after that, just go over some wants I have in the game, things I think would be fun to add or to see in a later build of Marathon. So that's how I want to structure this video. And so we're going to start out with the pros. The first pro I have is by far and above the gunplay. The gunplay is smooth, crispy. It feels great shooting. You really feel like you're holding the gun the way it feels. If you've, been a fan of Bungie games, if you played a Bungie game, I'm a big fan of Destiny. I play Destiny a lot. So coming to Marathon, this game felt really good. And anyone who knows anything about Bungie games, you know that the gunplay is always going to be excellent. And Marathon does not slouch in that department whatsoever. Another pro I have is I really enjoy the art design. I think the way the characters are designed, the weapons, the landscapes, buildings, just everything in the game, I really like the way it looks. It's very unique. It stands out. It doesn't feel like anything you've ever played before because it is so unique. And I think that's a very big benefit for Marathon. It doesn't feel like another Tarkov or a Delta Force or a Warzone. It's its own thing, and I really enjoy that. It was kind of a breath of fresh air playing this alpha. So I was a really big fan of the art design in this game. Next, something I really enjoyed was the UI. The UI in this game is very clean, minimalistic, modern. It's really easy to see where everything is. It's very easy to see how everything works, how to loot everything, settings, whatsoever, your backpack. Everything is very streamlined. Everything is very quick to understand. And that's something I really enjoyed. Playing a new game, sometimes it can feel daunting, especially a game like this where there's, there is a learning curve. There's a lot to learn. And having cluttered UI where it does take a long time to kind of understand how everything works, this game really just streamlined it, and I really appreciated that. So the UI, in my opinion, is very good. Another thing that I had as a very big pro was the faction system, the way factions work in this game. I thought it was really cool. You have factions that can offer upgrades with skill trees. And you can unlock those skill trees by ranking up your faction, by completing bounties with them, and then collecting materials that can be purchased for upgrades, and those upgrades directly affect your stats, or they affect the black market in the game, so you can buy better things. So if you ever die with all your stuff, you can just go to black market and get somewhat kitted out so that you can go into another run without just being very limited on what you have. I really like the way factions work in this game. I thought they were really well done. And I'm excited to see what they can do with it in the future, because in the alpha, they actually had 3 factions that you could select from. But at the very top of the screen, there was multiple factions there that were crossed out that we couldn't even click on. So there's going to be even more things you can do with factions once this game fully launches. I'm really excited to see how they handle that. And then the final pro I have on my list are the 2 maps we got. Right now, you're seeing gameplay of Dire Marsh. This is the game that was showcased with all the streamers during their live event. And the other map they had in the alpha, it was a map called Perimeter. Perimeter was my least favorite of the 2, but still a very good map. But I enjoyed playing both of them. They both flowed really great. It didn't feel like there was a clear place to go that had the best advantage over everywhere else in the game. That's something I really enjoyed. And so for me, the 2 maps we got were both very good. All right, the pros list was a bit short, but it's kind of hard to make a list about everything you liked in the game. But if you take anything away from this video, just know that I really do like this game. It was very addicting. It's very fun. I'm really excited to play more of the alpha as we have a little bit more time left with it. I'm really excited for the beta, and I'm excited for when the game launches. I really do enjoy this game. But like I said at the beginning of this video, I do have some cons with this game. And rather than just just state the cons that I have. I want to do something where I state a con, but then I offer something that they could change to make the game feel better, in my own opinion. And the first con that I have is solo queuing. Solo queuing in this game is not fun. And because I find myself in a very unique situation where I, out of all my friends, was the only one that got an alpha code. So I didn't have anyone to really play with over this last week. So every game I was playing, I was solo queuing. And the experience was, I would say, 80% really terrible. And the last 20, you get really lucky and you find two good teammates or two people who are duo queuing, and you guys are able to actually do something. You're actually able to play the game the way the game was intended. Solo queuing in this game is really bad. There's a lot of times where teammates will just go off in their own direction, not listen to what, not see what you're pinging on the map, not really play with you because they're just there to get their contracts, like bounties, complete. They're also there just to get better loot. They don't really care about playing with you. They just want to get loot and get out. There's been a lot of matches I play where within the first 5 minutes of the game, before I've even really seen anyone, I've fought barely any AI. I haven't really looted anything, but my teammates are already wanting to extract. And the solo queue experience is very bad. Now, the thing I would fix in this place is I would definitely have a solo only experience where you solo queue into the game and you're just matched against other solos. I think that needs to be in this game because there's plenty of times where I'll get a kill or I'm push a team or a team pushes me. I get a kill, I'm healing up and I'm weak, and my teammate who was just kind of hanging back, not really helping me, once he sees that I'm shielding or I'm healing myself, he'll just go start looting the guy I just killed, and I don't even get any of the good stuff that the guy had that I just had battle with. There's little things like that where the solo queue experience is really bad. I think there definitely needs to be a solo only, but watching streams, watching other content creators play with friends, I think this game is really unique in the way where it's an extraction shooter that's team-based. I really like the idea, and I think it's really good when you have people you can actually run with. If you don't have anyone who can get on the game, maybe your friends aren't big into extractions and you're at a disadvantage immediately because the solo queue experience is really that bad. So I think the first thing to fix that is add a solo only playlist. I think that would fix a lot of issues in the game right now. The next thing I have is prox chat. There needs to be prox chat in this game, Bungie. I know that they've been saying some things where they're really looking into adding prox chat, but the fact that it's still in question, it's not even that they're going to do it, they're still talking about it. They're not actually saying we're going to add prox chat. I think that is if they don't add it, that's such a bad idea. I know that their reasoning for not having prox chat is they want to create a really safe gaming environment where people who are maybe not wanting toxicity don't get just thrust into it. And I understand that. I can sympathize with that, but at the same time, like, this is a video game. This is the gaming community. At a certain point, you have to grow up and you have to just realize that that's just gonna happen. But there's also, you could have a match where people are really toxic to you and really mean to you, and the next match you meet someone that's just the funniest person you ever met and you have one of the funniest experiences of your life. It's a give and take. I think prox chat in this game would actually add a lot. There's a lot you could probably do. Like, maybe you could trade with someone. Like, if they're pushing you, hey, I have this gun, you want it, let me live and I'll give you this gun. And they might just do it. There's so many, it adds so much more variety to this game having a prox chat option. If you're trying to extract and another team is pushing you, maybe you can work out a deal where you all extract and no one dies, you all get out with your loot. I think that prox chat needs to be in this game. And, to anyone that really is scared about having toxicity in the game, then just add a toggle where you can turn proximity chat off. They have a toggle for team chat because there could be a time where your teammates are really toxic towards you. And it's the same thing. I don't see any difference from having team chat and proximity chat. So I think if you just have a toggle and you really don't want it, you can just turn it off and you can play the game how the game is being played right now. So yeah, definitely the solo queue and prox chat are my two biggest cons, but I do have a few more. And next one is definitely the heat bar. The heat bar is driving me insane. I really don't like it. I've never been a fan of when games try to restrict my movement. It just makes the game feel sluggish, slow. I feel like I can't do what I want to do because I'm being limited by this heat bar. And I've really been thinking about what they could do to make this better, because my first reaction was just remove the heat bar. But if you did that, then characters like Locust or Glitch are just going to become way too overpowered because a lot of their abilities are movement abilities. And if you have a Glitch that's able to just slide all over the place, or a Locust that's able to just, jetpack jump everywhere and tack sprint everywhere, that's going to make those characters way too overpowered compared to Void and Blackbird and the other characters that they will have coming into the game if those characters don't have movement abilities. And so I've really been thinking like, okay, what could they do? Because they can't just remove the heat bar. I think it's too far into this game for them to take it out. But there is a mechanic where if you pull out your knife, you do run a little faster. So in my head, what I thought would be a good solution to this is maybe if you pull out your knife, you just don't generate heat. So you can run from point of interest to point of interest without generating heat. If you're in a place and you're running up the stairs, you're running to the third story, back down to the basement, you can go loot everything as long as you have your knife out, and it balances it in a way where you don't have your gun out at all. So if a team pushes you, you have to pull out your gun, and it's that split second decision, but you're not generating heat, and that's the trade-off. So in my opinion, I think that would be a really good solution, is just have my knife out. I don't generate heat. Now that's not including abilities like if you're using the glitch slide, double jump, locust, jetpack jump, or tack sprint. Obviously those are going to generate heat still, but if you're just normal sprinting, that doesn't generate heat at all if you have your knife out. I think that would be a really good solution. Another thing too that I want to just throw in here, meleeing should not generate heat at all. I think that is so weird. Like, why is I punch something, does it generate heat? Like, if I burn out because I fill up my heat meter too quick, I can't slide, I can't run anymore. But if I burn out, I can still punch, but yet punching also generates heat. It doesn't make sense to me. That needs to be removed. I don't even know why that's in the game. So definitely take out the melee part and then add it so the knife doesn't generate heat. That's what I would do. And I hope Bungie takes a hard look at the heat bar, because where it's at right now is not my favorite, and I hope they address that. Next on my list is the attachment system, or better known as mods. If you didn't know, every gun has mods you can put on them to make the gun a higher rarity, make the gun feel better, shoot better, be more accurate, maybe more handling, faster, reload quicker, have a bigger magazine. And you can find these mods within the game, within the world, like doing events in chests. You can just find these mods randomly. But the way this game is set up as it stands right now is once an attachment is on a gun, you can't take that attachment off. It is stuck to that gun. The only way to get that attachment off of that gun is to replace it with another one. For instance, my favorite weapon in this alpha so far has been the Bully SMG. And the Bully SMG I've had for a while. It's in my vault. I keep it. I only pull it out when I want to go for like a more hardcore run. But something I did is I put a scope on it, and the scope I put on it zooms in way too much for my liking. It hinders my SMG experience. I don't like it as much. But because I've already put that attachment on my gun, that scope, I can't take it off. The only way I can remove it is by replacing it with another scope. And I don't even know if I like that scope because I can't inspect it. I can't test it before I attach the mod to it. I think the way the attachment system is set up right now is very, very bad. I wish I could be able to just pull mods off guns, put them on guns. I don't think that really breaks the game too much. I think that wouldn't really do anything different to how the game is played. And at the end of the day, every season they're wiping all of our vaults. So it's not even going to be a buildup of all of our mods, and then we just have overpowered stuff all the time because we're able to take the mods off. We're going to get season wiped. So I think that should be reverted. I think that there needs to be a system in place where we're able to just pull mods on and off of guns, because the system in place right now is not my favorite, and I really wish that we could be able to just customize our weapons a little bit more than we can at the moment. All right, next up is the pinging system. The way this pinging system works is it is very outdated. If you've played any more modern games like Warzone, Apex, Fortnite, the way their pinging system works, and you come to this game, it's gonna be very strange. If a teammate pings something, you can't just look at it through the game itself and confirm it. You have to pull out your map and hover over what they ping to be able to confirm what your teammate just pinged, so you can let your teammate know, hey, I agree with you, let's move to that place. On top of that, if you ping a location, you can't cancel that ping. You can't just hover over what you just pinged and cancel it. It's gonna stay there forever until you ping a new location, and then it's gonna move off what you just pinged to the new thing you just pinged. The pinging system in this game is very bad. I don't have any really thoughts on how they fix that. I think it's pretty self-evident how you fix that. So I definitely hope they update the pinging system when this game fully comes out. And then to round out my cons list, my last con that I have is the decoding of gear. I don't have a problem necessarily with decoding gear. I understand understand why it's there, but I do have a problem with decoding dead players' gear. Most of the time when you're looting chests in a building, there's not that much stuff there to decode, so it doesn't feel that long. It doesn't take a while to decode these things, so it's not that big of an issue. But when you kill a player, which is, typically you're going to find the best loot off of other players, it takes a very long time to decode all those players' stuff because players are carrying much more than a simple crate or duffel bag or whatever you find in a building. It's going to take a very, very long time to decode all of that player's stuff, and while you're sitting there waiting to decode, you're just a sitting duck for basically anyone that wants to roll up on you. Another issue I have with this is because there is a system in place now where you can upgrade your character to decode items quicker, and a problem I was running into is if I'm going to loot something that another teammate is already looting, if they've upgraded their stat for decoding, they're going to see all the stuff before I do, so they're going to be able to grab things before I can even see what it was, and that just feels really bad in my opinion. I didn't really have that issue when just looting random things inside buildings, but I did run into that issue quite a bit when I was looting other players. I think a very simple solution to that issue is make it so if another player is already searching a duffel bag, searching a chest, a crate, whatever, someone else can't also be searching that same thing. If someone gets there first, they get first dibs, and then whatever's left is whatever's left. On top of that, like I already stated, I think that I shouldn't have to decode anything that a dead player drops. That should just already be there. There's so many items usually that players are, carrying, that's going to take me a while to before I get, more masterful with the game. It's going to take me a while before I know what everything is and what I need and don't need. So I'm already going to be looking and reading what each thing does, and do I need that? Do I remember it? Do I need this? I don't know if I remember that, if I need that for upgrade. So I definitely think that the decoding system for just normal crates, normal things inside buildings, that's fine. But I think if you kill a player, you've already done something, the hardest thing probably in this game, and that's killing another team. You should be rewarded by being able to loot their gear a little faster and not just be stuck out in the open. But that does it for all the cons I have in this game. Everything else I really don't mind at all. This game is very fun, but I did want to add something here at the end, and this is just kind of a personal thing, kind of a personal list of things I would like to see added to the game that I think would make the game feel a lot better, in my opinion. The first thing on that is a kill counter. There's currently, at least to my knowledge, there's no way of knowing how many enemies you've killed player wise and AI wise. I don't really like that. I come from a Warzone background, Fortnite, Apex. I really like being able to see how many kills I have on my screen, seeing how many kills my teammates have on the mini map screen. I think the lack of there being stats to show how you performed in the game combat wise is not great. So for my first thing that I'd really like to see added to this game is a kill counter on my HUD displaying how many players I've killed and how many AI I've killed, along with my teammates' scores on the mini map screen. Next thing for my wants, speaking of the mini map, I wouldn't mind having a little tiny mini map on the top left side of my screen while I'm in the game. This is just a personal thing. I understand that some people might not want that as it constructs what they're seeing on the game itself, but to me, just having a little bit more feedback constantly up and seeing what place I'm at, where my teammates are at, without having to look at the minimap itself or actually look at my teammates, I think that would be a very nice addition. So for my next one, I would like a minimap on my HUD. I think that would just be really nice to have. Next up, I would also like a firing range. There is a lot of mods that can change the way your weapon performs, like we talked about earlier, and I would like to be able to take those guns into a place and use them without the fear of losing them. It kind of sucks if I loot someone and they have a gun that I haven't tried before, or they have a gun that has a lot of attachments on it, and I take that gun, I extract with it, I have it now. I don't know if I'm gonna like the way that gun feels. I don't know if I'm gonna like the way the gun handles until I get into the next game, and by the time I get into the next game, I'm already at risk of losing that gun before I can even see if it's a gun I would like to use or not. So to me, having a place where I can test guns out before I deploy an extraction run would really help the game. So that's another one I have. Another thing is I would like to see more game modes in this game. I think this game has very good gunplay. It has very fun mechanics. The game looks great. I really like the gameplay loop. I like the way it feels. And so I'd like to have more ways of playing this game than just an extraction, because while the extraction side of things is very fun, the fear of losing everything you have can it makes you play a different way. And I'd like to see how this game could play maybe in a BR setting or an arena shooter setting where I don't have to fear losing anything I have because I can just play the game instead. I think that would be a really nice touch to add something like that. If not, I think this game will do fine as just purely an extraction, but I think having variety of ways to play this game, or maybe, you know, use your guns in a different way and not have to risk losing them, could be really beneficial to the game itself. Another one I have is the ability to reload my gun and then open my mini map or loot something or start healing using a consumable and not have my mini map or whatever I'm looting cancel the animation. If I'm trying to reload my gun and I go to open a loot chest or I go to open my mini map, it cancels your reload, it cancels your heals. I just don't like that. It feels really bad. I wish there was a way I could look at my map without having to cancel my reload, or I could start reloading and then open a loot chest. That would help speed the game up in a positive way, not a negative way. So I hope that's something they can add in the future. And for my last one, this is just kind of a nitpicky thing. I really don't like the spectating helmet cam. Anyone that's coming from Modern Warfare 22 understands what I'm saying when they added that helmet cam. I don't think anyone actually uses it. But in that game, they had the option of either spectating in helmet cam and normal gameplay. And I'm pretty confident that most people just spectate on normal gameplay. I don't have a problem with helmet cam. It definitely adds more of an immersive experience for when you go down. But the way it stands right now, you can't switch it to normal gunplay. So there's been times I go down, I'm waiting for my teammate to revive me, and I can't really give good call outs to my teammates because I can't really see anything that well, or I can't really make out things as clearly as I could if I was just seeing their normal gameplay. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for my thoughts and impressions on Marathon. Overall, I really enjoyed this game. I'm really looking forward to playing the full release when it comes out. There's definitely some things I have problems with, though. It's not perfect. It probably will never be perfect, but overall, for Bungie's next game, I think this is a very good game and I hope it succeeds. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative. I hope it helped you clear any confusion you may have had on Marathon. But yeah, guys, leave a like if you agreed with me, if you liked some of the things I said, and if you didn't, leave a subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.